Top 10 Manhwa or Manhua, where MC is strong from the start. In this list, we'll be showing the top 10 Manhwa or Manhua where MC is strong from the start. These characters can defeat their opponents easily and they are even overpowered to their own extent. There is some sort of weakness that can stop them on their path, but not all of them have one. This list is all about Korean manhwa or manhua where the main character is quite strong from the start of the story. There are a bunch of other top 10 lists featuring strong characters, but I personally find those to be too repetitive and boring. Starting off with our number 10, Carnivorous Hunter. The story is subpar and also destroyed by the MC's contradicting actions. The art is alright and up to standard. Characters are mostly intelligent, but for some reason, the MC is always able to do something, doesn't do it, or even tries for that matter, and later he acts like he did his best. Like man, literally did nothing except jumping into reckless combat and randomly backing out at times just to receive a couple of hits. But don't worry, he's labeled as the smartest character pretty much. Overall, if you can ignore the MC's actual situation and believe he did his best when he didn't even try is a wholesome read. Number 9. Hanlin Jim. Tired of being picked on, Yongka, the new transfer student, decides to fight back and discovers he can pack a punch. He soon becomes the top of the food chain, savoring his new title as the toughest guy at school. But he misses his match when Suho-kan, the champion of the PvP games, single-handedly takes down him and his crew. To earn back his honor, Yongga decides to join the PvP games. Will he finally get the satisfaction of beating Suho up? Or will he gain something more? Overall, it's really good manhwa to read. Number 8. The First Hunter. This is a very straightforward story. The focus on this manhwa is the world's end and the appearance of monsters out of nowhere in Korea. But the story goes everywhere in the world. Our protagonist is Tae-hoon Kim, an already very strong, experienced military person who has no reason to live and no objective in life to achieve. The appearance of the monsters and the world's destruction for the protagonist is basically a second chance to atone for the mistakes of his past and hard work to leave a good mark on the world. The protagonist works hard building a clan, gathering good and loyal members so they can face the threat of the monsters and save as many people as they can while getting stronger the more monsters they face. The story never deviates from the main objective and always focuses on the specific point, which is the monsters and people using them. Number 7. Martial King's Retired Life. It's a good manhua. It's a pity that they dropped it. As of now, the novel is ongoing, so maybe there is a chance. If you come by this manhua, make sure to try it out. The MC is very mysterious because we don't know much about his past beside being one of the top martial artists. Overall, it's a very nice manhua to read. Number 6. 4-Cut Hero. 4-Cut Hero is a fun fantasy manhwa that I recommend reading because it breaks the mold which was created by the huge number of standard fantasy manga and manhwa we have been getting in recent years. To be honest, I feel like it's way too easy to spoil just that bit too much, so I hope I can get some people sold on it by talking about some of the points it's a great at. For one thing, it's not an isekai, reincarnation, time travel, or other second chance at life story. The world is also not a generic ripoff of Dragon Quest and other such RPGs. It's a world with a wider variety of less clearly classified demons or monsters for one, with a tighter link to the concepts of hell and heaven than most fantasy stories. Moving on to our number 5. I am trapped in this day for 3,000 years. In the year 2065, the newcomer, Lu Feng, entered the Obsidian Ruins in the Shadow World. He was subsequently trapped in an endless time loop of the day of his entry. 3,000 years went by. Yet, Lu Feng would always reset and start anew at 6 a.m. each day, no matter how many times he died. In order to pass the long millennia, he mastered all the professions found in the Shadow World. To its surprise, what followed a common boss battle was not a reset but the dawn of a new day. Number 4. I Signed Killing God in the Wasteland. Luli, who was originally a wasteland scavenger, was accidentally selected by the heavens and awakened his sign in ability as the last hope for mankind. But the heavens are illusory and ruthless. Can it become the seed of hope? It depends on Luli's own ability and luck. The objective of resistance is the god that people have worshipped for thousands of years. In the fate of 8,000-year cycle, the so-called god tore off the marks of disguise and became a reaper. Besides translation, which is way confusing, it's a very good read. Number 3. Rise of the Cheat User. Sunran, who was born in slum, is known as a talented game cheating expert. He used to hang out in multiple virtual worlds with different identities, but he was accidentally kicked out of the virtual world by the other and left with 9 money in the real world. While having billions of high debt, in order to pay off the debt, Sunran made a deal with the central brain, became a justice maintainer, and launched a fierce contest with those players who were called the Destroyers. Number 2. Reborn as the strongest swordsman. Starting over once more, he has entered his living game again in order to control his own fate. This time, he will not be controlled by others. Previously, the level 200 Sword King, he will rise to a higher peak in this life. Methods to earn money, dungeon conquering strategies, legendary quests, equipment drop locations, undiscovered battle techniques, and even the secrets beta testers were unknowledgeable of, he knows of them all. Massive wars, life advancement, enduring godhood, sword reaching to the peak, a legend of a man becoming a sword god has begun. And finally, number 1, Metro Hunter. This manhwa is quite unique for even a dungeon manhwa. The main character is overpowered from the start and he has a very likable personality. Unidentified monsters have taken over the metro lines of Seoul, bringing chaos to the city. In the 20 years since the monsters emerged, a system of hunters has been built in order to deal with the monster dungeons that have formed all over the city. One such hunter, Kang Cheol, the Metro Hunter, is on a journey to find and slay a monster he calls the Master of Fire. The world building is also very strong. This webtoon is highly recommended for every dungeon manhwa fans. So ladies and gentlemen, we conclude our today's list with that. But before we leave, make sure you leave with a thumbs up to the video. We really work hard for bringing content for you guys. Therefore, a like to the video will be really motivating. If you have any sorts of queries or suggestions, the comment section is always open too. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to us so that you won't be missing out on any of our updates as we assure you to bring more quality content in the future times. Till another one, see ya and goodbye.